Hey guys, I thought I'd hang out with you today. Wow, there's a giant fly on the floor, and we get those nasty like giant bull flies. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. They're just the largest flies I've ever seen, and those stink bugs that just pop out of nowhere, and they fall from the ceiling, and then they land on you, and you freak out, and it's awful. I don't understand those bugs. Anyways, I thought I'd hang out with you today because it's been a while since I've hung out with you, and I wanted to update you on some things. Let's see. If you follow me on my Instagram or my Facebook page, you've noticed that I've been getting into comic books and such. My really good friend that lives in Portland, she's gotten me into them, and I've actually been wanting to read them for quite a long time, but just the thought of how many comic books are out there is just really intimidating because there are so many, so I didn't even know where to begin. And I did read some when I was little. My dad had some, but I never like stuck with it or anything, and so I've just been really wanting to get into it because my husband reads them and friends read them, and I'm like wanting to know what they're talking about, and so it just made me want to try, because I thought, you know, I might as well just try and see if I like it, and if I don't get into it, then I don't get into it, and that's okay. So my friend let me borrow quite a few to read. Some I just couldn't get into, and at first I thought I was like bad at reading them, but it just turns out it's like no different than like a book or any interest where you can't just get into every book that's ever written. You know, it's just, if you're not into it, you're not into it, and that's totally fine. But there's been some that I really enjoy. So far, I don't know if any of you read comics, but if you do, you might be interested in this. But so far, the ones I've really enjoyed, there's one called Ghosted, and I've read the first two books, the trade books, and I really want to read the third one that's out. I also am caught up on Deadly Class. I really enjoyed that. And what's another one? I started Walking Dead. I've read the two first trade books so far, and I really like them, and it's amazing the differences between them and the show, and it's not bad where I'm like disappointed. It's just, it's different. It's kind of like behind the scenes in a way, and then there's some differences though that kind of blew my mind. So if you've read the comics and watched the show, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna tell you about it because it's just, I'm still thinking about it. I'm excited to continue to read those. And today I started, what did I start? It's called Haunt, and it's by the same author of the Walking Dead comics. It is so good. Oh my gosh. I'm almost done with it. Almost. And I think, what is another one that I really liked? I mean, I've read a few that I've enjoyed, but those are the few that I really like. Oh, I also finished a mini series, I guess. Like, I think there was, I don't remember how many there were, like 8 issues or something, of Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. You know, Ash from like Army of Darkness. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Just 3 pages in, and someone brutally dies in a brutal way. It was amazing. So I read those so fast, and I loved them. And I'm learning that the ones that I really like are I'm trying to think what ones that where you just get lost and you just forget about reality. You're just so into the story and just so into it that you're just zoned out, and once you break away from the book, you're just like in a fog of like, oh, where am I? I did that today. I was with a friend of mine out, and she was at a meeting or whatever, and I just hung out and like read almost the whole Haunt book. And man, when I got out of it, we're walking to the parking garage, and I'm like, wow, that comic is so good. If you read comics, you might understand. I'm just new into this whole comic book thing. I'm actually really glad that I'm enjoying it, because I was worried that I wouldn't. And even if I didn't get into it, I at least tried, because I wanted to relate to what my friends were talking about and stuff. But I'm really enjoying it, and actually, I'll be honest with you guys, I've only been reading for like almost 2 weeks now. Like, I started about last week, or I don't know, it's not a very long time. But in that amount of time, I've read a lot. But ever since I started reading, my dreams are pretty interesting. And I don't know if that's just based on reading in general or what the deal is. My dreams don't really have anything to do with the comic books. It's just my brain is coming up with these interesting stories that I dream about. And I don't remember most of them. Like, I had an interesting one last night, but by now I don't remember. It had to do with like some sort of abandoned house, but I was moving into it and I had to write all over a door. But then I had to wash the door before I wrote on the door. However, for some reason it was really important that I write on the door. I don't know. It was weird. But I've been having dreams like that where they're very vivid and just very, I don't know, just interesting. Very colorful. I mean, I'll make note of that. And I don't know if that has anything to do with comic books. It might not. But it's just, I don't know. That's just one thing I've noticed since I started reading. I've been having very interesting, vivid, colorful dreams. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, so if any of you guys read comics, let me know what ones are your favorites. I'm not yet ready to dive into like superhero stuff or like Marvel stuff, so like not X-Men or Wolverine or like, I don't know, any of those, like, I don't know, Spider-Man or Batman. I'm not really ready, I don't think, for those yet. I've been reading other things. Oh, let me tell you about the worst comic book I've ever read so far. Silent Hill. And I posted this on Instagram. And I was actually really excited. I posted a picture before I read them. I should have waited so then I could like write write something. I don't know. The art looked pretty cool. And I love Silent Hill anyway. Some of you guys know that. They were awful. And I agree. Someone made a comment on my Instagram on that photo that I posted of the Silent Hill comics. There were only 3 that I had. And they made a really good point, and I agree with this, where it just seemed like they just wanted to use just the name Silent Hill. Because it didn't really feel like Silent Hill in the comic at all. It was just, and it was jumpy. I would read one page, flip over, and it would be something completely different. And I was like, wait a minute, what just happened on this other page? This has nothing to do. And then I'd just go to the next page, and then I'd flip over to the next one, and I'd be like, wait a minute. What happened to, what? I had no idea what was going on. It was not smooth reading whatsoever. It was just awful. That's the worst comic I've read. Oh, I also started to read one called Road Rage, which was like a collab with Stephen King and his son. I couldn't finish it. It wasn't getting into it. And I felt kind of bad because I love Stephen King. However, my friend that's gotten me into comics, she's having me borrow one by, I believe his name is Joe Hill, that's Stephen King's son, called Lock and Key, and she says it's really good, so I'm excited to read that one, because I'm really interested in scary comics. I grew up reading scary books, you know, Stephen King, Dean Koontz. I like scary stuff, so that's what I want. Ghosted was actually pretty good. It didn't like scare me, but I liked it because it had like ghosts and creepy things in it. But yeah, I'm slowly learning what I like, and I don't know. It's art, and I can't just say I won't read something if I haven't tried. And so like even my husband's like, well, would you be interested in like Conan? And I'm like, I don't know. I can try. So he gave me some Conan comics, and he's like, I don't know, would you want to read stuff about ninjas? And I'm like, I can't say no because I haven't tried. So he's just making like this huge pile, and it's growing, of just like all these comics that I can try and read and see how I feel. And my friend too that's got me into comics, she told me, and this is actually really important I think, and I'm sticking with this, where if you can't get into it, don't make yourself read it. And I know some people might just say, you know, just read it to say you read it or to have an actual opinion about it. But she said it's not good, or she just doesn't think, and I agree, that if you're just not into it, don't waste your time. Like, if you can't get into it, that's why I didn't finish Road Rage. I just couldn't get into it in Silent Hill. I only read the first issue and then half of the second one, and I was just like, I can't. I literally felt like I was wasting my life with Silent Hill. And I never thought I would say that. Ever. But anyways, yeah, I'm really into comics right now, and I don't want to stop reading. That's kind of my problem. I also bought, I just remembered. I bought my, what was it? It was 30 Days of Night, and it's the first thick small book. What is it called? It starts with an O. Ambience, I don't know. Some of you might know. I don't have it on I don't have it on hand. It starts with no. But I posted a picture on my Instagram. Did I post it on my Facebook page? I think. I'm not sure. But I'm really excited about it. I read, I'm a few pages in, and the art is so creepy. I love it. Anytime I find some sort of art or comic strip, I guess, or something in the comic that I'm reading that I like, I usually take a picture of it and I'll post it. And I'm more than likely to post a picture of what's in the 30 Days of Night one, so you can look for that. So maybe I'll end it here. I got some stuffs to do. Sorry I've been a little not on YouTube. That sentence doesn't even make sense. But it's called Life, and at least I'm posting every now and again, and I get to say hi and catch up with you guys and stuff. It's just been busy, and I've been spending my spare time reading comic books. So yeah, if you would like to, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. They're both ladylockslife. You can find me there, because when I'm not here, I'm there, obviously, posting pictures of me with comic books. And I would love to know any comic book suggestions down below or anywhere. Let me know what you guys like, if any of you even like comics. I mean, you might just think I'm a little too weird now. But yes, I will talk to you guys later. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.